Hello everyone. So by request today we're going to be drawing a Mandala butterfly. And this is what it's going to look like by the time we're done. So to start off with, the materials I'm going to be using are regular mixed media drawing paper. I have a pencil sharpener, a kneaded eraser, and a drawing pencil that is just a regular HB drawing pencil. Nothing special about it. Now, one thing I do like to do before I start is to warm up my kneaded eraser. So I'm going to knead it a bunch of times to get it good, soft, and pliable. I'll speed this part up so it can go a little quicker. Kneading, 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 stretching, and we're done. Alright, so to get started, this is going to be freehand, so this isn't going to be perfect. I'm going to find the middle of the paper, and I'm just going to draw a long oval. And that's going to be the body of the butterfly. Go. I'm going to place a dot in the center of the body, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an X straight through where the center is at that dot of the body. And I'm going to make the top half of that X a little bit longer than the bottom half, and that's going to kind of serve as my guide for the butterfly's wings. Now for the other side of my X. And if you can barely see this X, that's on purpose. I'm drawing it very lightly because it's not going to show up in the final part of the drawing. Still keeping the top half of that X just a little bit longer than the bottom half. Now looking at it through the camera on my computer, it is a lot lighter than what it actually is in front of me, so I will go ahead and darken it a little bit so you can see it better. I am also trying to make the right side of the X and the left side match as closely as possible. Just getting the line a little bit straighter. Almost done. Now, using the X as my guide, I'm going to imagine a curved line that starts right at the edge of the butterfly body, curves inward just a tiny bit, and I'll leave a mark, and that ends right on the tip of my X. Just do a curved line up. This will be the top of the butterfly wing. Same distance in, I'm going to do to the opposite side and leave a little mark. Please excuse the wobbly camera. I currently have a dog trying to get underneath my desk. Just a sec. And I'm going to repeat on the opposite side. Exact same way. Ending right at the top of my X. So I now have the top of both butterfly wings. Next, I'm going to follow the curve, but I'm going to start to kind of flatten it and bring it to a point. And I'm going to do it on both sides. Now, if you were to do a Google image search for just Mandala butterflies, you'll literally get hundreds of results. You can really do this any way you want. The trick is to just make each side match, and to start with the outline and then fill in the tiny details afterwards. Now for my next line, I'm still going to use the X, but I'm going to go slightly underneath it and then cross it about midway and go above it just a tiny bit, kind of making like a teardrop shape almost. And I'm going to do the same, of course, on both sides. Now that I have a line drawn on each side of that X on the top half, I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it. For my next petal, I'm going to go about halfway in between this little curve here, and I'm going to just draw it and flatten it out and angle it. Same on both sides. Kind of close to what I did at the top. And then, almost making a circle, I'm going to start to curve it down, but then I'm going to straighten the line and take it straight back to the body of the butterfly. So curve down, straighten, and back to the body. And then following that outermost curve, I'm going to curve up, and I'm going to connect it to the top. Now, clearly these aren't exactly the same and perfectly centered if I'm running out of space on one side. So I'm going to take a look, maybe adjust some of my angles here. Try and get them to match just a little bit more. And erase the mistakes. This is why we're starting in pencil. Okay, so now I'm going to work on curving the top wing down just a little bit. Now to start on the next lower wing, I'm just going to draw a straight horizontal line right where that X crosses. Going straight across, out, and curving up. Same on the other side. And I think I'm going to make a smaller wing kind of inside this bottom one. And go about halfway. Make a little mark. Halfway here, make a little mark. And I'm just going to kind of make an angle. Just kind of a curved line down to that horizontal line I just made. Both sides, of course. There we go. Now to finish up this outer wing I have over here, and decide where I want it to come back at, and go about halfway, make a mark again, halfway, make a mark. And that's about where I want the line to curve back. Curve down. Curve down. There we go. And maybe one more. Following the same type of curve, but going about halfway between the first, the outermost, and that smaller one. Throw in another one. Why not? I'm going to try to make the curve of these petals kind of match each other a little bit. Way, curve down to the center line. Okay, so now I still have some space that I want to fill in here. So I'll make another wing, about halfway from the start of the curve, there to there, and make a mark. And I'm going to make another wing here. There we go. And I'm just going to connect it in about the same spot on both sides. Following the outer curve, going out just a little bit further, and back. You can really do whatever you want, as long as both sides match. But even then, it's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna use my kneaded eraser to clean it up a little bit. Now I could start to work on some of the smaller details on the upper part, but I think I'm going to finish drawing the bottom half first. And this is with the smaller side of that X. I'm going to use it as a guide. So I'm just kind of figuring out about where I want the lower half to start angling down a little. And I'm also going to draw very lightly straight lines. And this will kind of help tell me where I want the edge of the lower half of the wing to be. First, trying to make them even. I'm just going to angle down just a little bit towards that line. Okay, now I'm going to look at where it starts to angle down on the edge, and I'm going to make a mark about halfway. About halfway again. And that's where I'm going to have it curve. And go straight back towards the butterfly body. There we go. Then I'm going to copy that angle down, almost making like a V, kind of a curved V. And that'll be the start of, I keep wanting to say petal. It's not a flower, it's a butterfly. A wing. I'm going to have it kind of circle down and go back almost to the butterfly body, but not quite. right. Now I'm going to curve straight down to that X line. Curve and go down. Alright, so now I'm going to use this bottom X as a guide. I'm going to kind of curve over it. And then I'm going to cross it just a tiny bit, about midway back, kind of making a little S curve and creating like a teardrop shape in this bottom wing. Slightly over the X, and slightly under the X, rounding out the edge. And the body to my butterfly is a little too short, so I'm going to lengthen it. Easy fix. Now I have enough room to connect another wing to go a little bit lower. Going mostly straight down, but a little curved. I'm going to match it on the other side. Kind of flatten the curve a little bit. And I'm going to draw another one. Down and curved. Kind of flat at the bottom. Try to make it match. We'll have it go up right at the edge there. We'll have it go back up following that line. Curved at the edge. Starting at the line, curving out a little bit, rounding the edge. Just connecting the final outermost wing here on the lower half. We have our outline. Just kind of cleaning up the edges a little bit. Getting rid of that last bit of X there. And now the X is gone. And it needs a head. And then I'm going to draw the antennas, kind of following close to the curve at the top. But I'm going to make the angle a little bit sharper. A little bit more towards the center. The antennas definitely don't match, but I like it, so I'll leave it. Alright, so now these are the main outlines for all the different layers of wings. I'm going to kind of darken up these lines a little bit, clean up the edges, and then I'm going to start doing designs. You can do whichever type you want. You can do dots, you can do stripes, This is the fun part. I just try and do something different, so you don't have the same pattern right next to each other. Just whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, and you can make this however you want. And I will speed this part up so it can go a little faster for us. So to start with, I think I'm going to do stripes. But I'm going to change the directions of them as I go up the wing. Darken the outline a bit. And then I'll pick a different pattern for the next wing. Doing a little bit of stripes, 2, then 1, then 2. Triangular angles here. Kind of throw in a few patterns. And up here I'm making kind of almost like little teardrop with a circle in the middle, kind of like an eye almost. Just a bunch of small ones. Angled different directions. It's still matching pretty closely to the opposite side. Kind of a bigger teardrop shape than just an oval. Add some circles. Just mixing it up with the different shapes, different sizes. Having some fun with it. Not even sure what I'd call this pattern, but it's fun. And I'm gonna repeat that same pattern just a little bit on the top. It kind of ties in the upper and bottom half. Gotta match a little bit. And some more stripes. Stripey, stripey. Repeating some patterns that are in the top half of the butterfly into the bottom half, so it all kind of ties together. Filling in the space. And there's our Mandala Butterfly, filled with details. Now what I want to do next is outline it with a fine tip Sharpie. And this is where a kneaded eraser will come in really handy. I'm going to stretch it, and then I'm going to make it really flat, and then I'm just going to press the eraser straight down into the paper. So what I'm doing is I'm lifting most of the pencil off of the paper, but I'm not rubbing the eraser against the paper. I don't want it completely gone. I just want it enough to where I can see it, enough to trace it with the Sharpie, but still have most of the lead gone so it doesn't interfere with the marker. And you just keep kneading that eraser to get a clean surface again. Press straight down to lift the pencil off the paper. Now, if you don't have a kneaded eraser, it's still okay. You can still trace with a Sharpie over it. I would just make sure, try not to make the lines too dark with the pencil. Just keep it light and you'll be fine even if you don't have a kneaded eraser. Let's speed this part up a bit. Just getting as much of the lid off as we can. Still want to actually be able to see what we drew. It looks like I'm practically erasing all of it, but for some reason I can see it a little bit better in front of me than what my camera can pick up. So I'm not quite taking it away as much as what the camera looks like. And now get our Sharpie and we trace. I'm going to really speed up this part for us. All right, there we have it. There's our Mandala Butterfly. And because this is on mixed media, If I wanted to color it, I now have some options. Because of the type of paper it's on, I can do acrylics, watercolor, colored pencils, gel pens, whatever I like. Just remember, there are an infinite number of ways that you can draw this, so make it your own, take your time, and have fun. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.